Listeners and viewers, the British Business Podcast is delighted that Mandy Bailey, the Regional Enterprise Manager for Royal Bank of Scotland in Edinburgh, this beautiful, amazing building. One of the reasons why we're here is because of Mandy. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
It's been amazing working with you today. What we'd like to know, what our viewers and listeners out there would love to know, is all about your role and what you do and the passion you've shown today. I'd love to capture some of that on the camera today. Can you give us an insight into what you do and sort of how you've got here and what it's all about for the clients out there?
Yes, of course. I'd be delighted
Fantastic. Thanks, Mandy.
So my role specifically is part of our wider enterprise team up in Scotland. Our enterprise team is comprised of me, the ecosystem manager, but also our scale acceleration managers, our acceleration managers who support businesses directly with our accelerator, and local enterprise managers who essentially are the same on the ground working within their local communities. And what we all do is support small businesses, either scale, grow, internationalise, pivot through a whole enterprise proposition.
Wow. There's so much to talk about there.
There is a huge amount of support that we provide to...
Can you say those things again? Scale, grow, internationalise, pivot. Mm-hmm. Those are four things that in the pandemic, I guess, you must have been so busy. Because the amounts of businesses out there that were struggling for help must have been in thousands.
Thousands, absolutely thousands. And in some respects, we pivoted as a business.
Oh, wow.
Because up until the pandemic, we were largely delivering this service face-to-face and very speedily pivoted to deliver it digitally. The whole programme digitally, to ensure that in particular during those really, really challenging times of the pandemic and the multiple challenges, that we were able to deliver the same level of service and support, but in a digital way.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
So how many are there of you?
Of me around the country, there is about 5.
5 people?
Yeah,
like
5 people like me.
And how many businesses are being supported?
Hundreds of businesses across the country, and actually, it's in the thousands.
Is it?
So right now, across there's possibly in our accelerators about 800, over 800 businesses, but that doesn't count for all of the businesses that are accessing our other enterprise support services, whether digitally, joining one of our peer-to-peer sessions, engaging with a women in business specialist. We have a wide enterprise team that sits across all of the enterprise support systems. So yeah, there's a lot to our support.
How do you let businesses know of all of these things? Because just by you telling me now, I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed about actually how many different services and support mechanisms that the bank have come up with for the individual businesses.
And there's nothing like it in the market, can I just say that?
Really?
So I joined the bank, I joined the Royal Bank of Scotland, having had my own business. And I know if this or these services, these enterprise support services were available to me, I would have availed of them, all of them, because to a large extent, they're available to everyone, free. So they just need to engage. So we communicate that a lot of the time through our existing, so it could be by referrals, by word of mouth. They may be referred by a partner. We have big social media campaigns, our local enterprise managers who work in our communities, along with our relationship managers. They are all fully briefed and aware of the support that we provide.
So what is an accelerator hub? What does it do?
Our accelerator hubs, we have 14 across the country. And we have 2 in Scotland, 1 in Edinburgh and 1 in Glasgow. And what we do as a wider enterprise team, as well as being beautiful locations, as you can see, which offer which offer free desk space and Wi-Fi, which are really important, particularly to some businesses. Desk space for growing businesses because it helps reduce their costs. But what we specifically do as a team is provide the coaching, the wraparound support, the targeted mentoring, and access to networks, mentors, and our wider ecosystem. So that could be introductions to partners, to a chamber of commerce, to an investor. So that is the core. Over a 6-month period, we offer real wraparound support for all businesses. But we also deliver with partners, through our partners, a whole series of programs to support entrepreneurs or small businesses in the community who may not be on our accelerator. And we also deliver our digital services. So we deliver for SMEs who may not quite be at the size to join our business accelerators. We have a digital solution. And then twice a week, we deliver national business builder programs for them. So they're very similar. They're across a whole variety of topics, everything from mindset through to preparing for investment, preparing your business for investment, taking on your first team member. There's a whole combination of services we deliver from our enterprise hubs.
When you speak to all of these hundreds, thousands of businesses, do you collect data to give you the insights into what are the topical things right now? What are the things that are...
I'm so glad you brought that up, actually. I'm really glad you brought that up because last year we conducted a huge piece of research along with the British Chambers of Commerce, FSB and the Scale Up Institute. We spoke to over 1,000 businesses across...
FSB being the Federation of
Small Businesses across the whole of the UK to try and understand from them what some of the key challenges were. We identified from an economic perspective that they were SME productivity post-pandemic, transitioning to net zero, issues with supply chain, and they are the key. They were kind of the top three. So as a purpose-led bank, we then build that into our enterprise strategy. Everything we do in enterprise and as a bank is defined by our purpose. We're a purpose-led bank. We are here to help communities, businesses thrive and our customers. And so the whole purpose of doing that was to try and understand what is the needs in the market post-COVID, and then how can we design the support that we're providing as an enterprise team around what's needed.
So that was 2021 when you conducted that research?
The initial research was conducted towards the end of 2021.
Has that information filtered through and the reports and the results?
Yes, we provided that to the government as a result of that. One of the pieces of my roles is I sit on a regional task force whereby we meet regularly with all our partners. So again, whether that is Scottish Edge, it could be Scottish universities, business gateways, your various growth hubs. We meet on a regular basis. It's called an SME task force. And we come together to discuss what the challenges are on the ground for businesses. We then take the insights from that and then we feed that back up into our national task force, and members of the government, Federation of Small Businesses, British Chambers of Commerce all sit on that national task force with a view to having an ask, just kind of highlighting these are the challenges. So what can we do as if you like, a whole collective, collaborative enterprise support system to help businesses. This is the challenges they're facing. Is there things we can do, whether that's influencing policy or product and proposition design, in terms of financial services? That is, these are some of the support.
Is the information readily available for people to see?
Yes, the information is readily available. It is called our Springboard to Sustainable Recovery Report. It's available on our website.
Okay, so anybody that was involved in the research, that given the information, or somebody like me who wasn't involved, but I'd be fascinated to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's available
results
on our business hub.
Okay. Is there a plan to do that again? And if there is a plan, is that soon or is it in the future?
There will absolutely be like I say, the national and the regional task forces came about as a result of that. So we meet regionally and nationally as enterprise task forces with members of financial services and enterprise and other stakeholders at least 5 times a year to update that. But in terms of the data collection, I would imagine that will be the case. I can't confirm if the kind of what the regularity of that will be.
Sure. The reason why I ask is because we, in our business, we rely on so many statistics and valid resource and research sources. We use a lot of information from the Oxford University, and I was only talking to somebody the other day about how relevant and the information that was collected was about 2018, 2019. I'm sure the information that I've looked at, for example, about staff, about retention, about attraction, in 2019, it was a concern. I think it's at a critical stage right now.
In some regions in the country, I would absolutely agree, and that's through a whole combination of we know the kind of market forces that have driven that, and kind of staff retention and even attraction in particular industries. It's very sector specific as well.
Yeah,
we know that.
Yeah, and do you know if any of the questionnaire covered that area, or was it specific on the questions?
It was very specifically around kind of 5 key points, and that was the research was very specific around 5 key areas, and that was SME sustainability and improving productivity, was also helping more SMEs to accelerate, for those that wanted to grow, accelerate their growth and the type of support that they required to enable them to do that. It focused on increasing female entrepreneurship and also the productivity of female-owned businesses. So again, a bit about the growth piece, diversity and inclusion, and the shift towards net zero transition. So these were the key 5 areas that we're focused on.
That's amazing. It's quite dynamic and actually quite groundbreaking, especially where women are concerned. I've not heard of research being done in that way for some time. I was reading something by Jordan Peterson in Sweden, where the industry in Sweden, they were talking about men and women. You know, we want them to come together, but if you just let men go and off and do whatever jobs they want to do, lots of them will err towards engineering. With women, they'll err towards care and education. That's not something that you can force on people. Those things happen because of people want to choose those things, and women are really good at those things and men are really good at those things. So just because they choose to do that doesn't mean that we should force them into those industries.
No, absolutely.
Which is why I'm fascinated to hear about those questions being asked.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because actually there's a second piece of research which I know you will be very interested in if that's the case, and if you haven't heard of it, the Rose Review. So our Chief Executive, Alison Rose, launched the Rose Review in 2019 now. An update was recently announced, so that there are 2 fantastic pieces of research into female entrepreneurship and the additional barriers that females face when they try and either look for funding, raising investment, growth or accessing funding is one of the primary ones. It's the one that we hear more than any other, but also some of those other barriers that they face when trying to either start or grow their business. And that is a really exciting piece of research. And
where can we access that?
So again, you will find that on a combination of kind of LinkedIn. You can follow the Rose Review on LinkedIn. You will also find that on our Women in Business page on our own website as well. So you will access the recent update as well. And some of the key points that came out of that was the setting up of the Investing in Women Code. So I'm happy to provide all of that information to yourself and any of your listeners as well.
Yeah, that would be amazing if you could do that, and we will be able to put that on our website too. So in terms of one of the hardest things, when you come up with dynamic things like the surveys and the questionnaires, the publication of those results, clearly communication is one of the key drivers to getting that information out to the marketplace, not just in the findings for you to sort of set that to the government to say you need to change policy, but also to help businesses. Our people who are our viewers and listeners are listening to this today, they're coming on here for the insights, for the real detail. And how do you decide the communication strategy to get that information out there to as many people as possible? Because it's going to make a difference, isn't it?
It makes a massive difference. And the communication strategy, we have a national one, we have a regional one, and we have a local one. Okay. And so it's collective, it's across. Enterprise is in our DNA, so across the whole bank. So we have collaboration groups internally. We meet on a monthly basis. And one of the key parts of those internal ones, and so we're talking about our commercial banking, we're talking about our private banking, our personal banking, our kind of all of our teams, Pan Bank, come together on a monthly basis for this purpose, is to share knowledge of what's going on and help amplify the message to their customers and their stakeholders. And then we have all of our own partners in enterprise, both nationally, regionally and locally, and through a variety of kind of PR and marketing team, and also our local and regional teams across social media and through partners, through podcasts, articles with chambers. We have a touch point across many areas in terms of our communicating what we do.
It's interesting in this particular moment in time. We were talking earlier about interviews and trying to recruit staff. And one of the things one of our colleagues was talking about is he manages all of the recruitment type part of our business. He says that now he gets interviewed, whereas before it used to be we interviewed for people, staff members to come in. Now we get interviewed. Is that the same across the banking industry as well?
Absolutely. And we get interviewed in terms of the support that we provide, our accelerator hub. There's a level of expectation that comes. Really? One of the things about the Scottish enterprise market is that it's very well developed. There's a huge amount of support, and there is lots of enterprise support and accelerators out there. So it actually is the same for us. So when we are on a recruitment campaign, for example, like we are at the moment for our new cohort starting in September, we find the same. It's what can you do for me? Why should I align my business with your accelerator? And each time we know some of the critical factors. It's purpose-led. It gets back to the values, the relationships that you build, the entrepreneurs who come, or the businesses that come through, sharing their stories are far more powerful. The impact of that is much more powerful than anything potentially that we could say. So yes, I would say that's reflected across enterprise. And in fact, just an interesting story, when I joined the bank 2 years ago, it was the purpose. That was the reason I joined.
Really?
So when I had my own business, it was a purpose-led business, and it was the purpose in action. So the impact of seeing the purpose in action, that's what attracted me to this role in the first place, because actually not only did they talk the walk, they talked the talk, they walked the walk. So you could see purpose. And every day what we do in enterprise, it's a key, one of our purpose pillars. Every day, that is what we do. Everything is aligned to our purpose. If it's not aligned to our purpose, then why would we do it?
Wow, that's pretty powerful, coming from somebody that's had a very varied career and got loads of experience, and approached 2 years ago, approached the bank and then decided that you would choose to work with someone that you believe is very innovative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's turn our attention to something else that's quite well publicised at the moment, and that's about mental health and well-being in the workplace. What's happening in Royal Bank of Scotland to help and support our team members? Can you expand on that, Olivia?
Yes, I'd be happy to expand on that. So, and it was established before I came. I can only talk about when I joined,
Of course.
obviously. And I joined literally 3 weeks before lockdown. And again, I was so impressed with how quickly they not only got us up and running and working from home, in a super speedy manner, but the wealth of wellbeing and support services that were available to us at all times, because it was a huge ask to mobilise all of their teams and still deliver a great service. So we have a whole variety of wellbeing services that are available to us. Now that's face-to-face as well as digital tools. We're encouraged to exercise. We have meditation drop-in sessions for those that want to avail of that. A whole selection of digital online classes. You can join exercise classes. We have drop-in cafes for those that are having challenges in particular areas, whether that is menopause, I'm going to say that M word, or stress, anxiety, challenges with childcare or caring responsibilities. There is support or drop-in cafes or employee-led networks for each one of those. So there is a whole wealth of resources that you can avail of.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing.
I think it was, again, the Oxford University, where we get our research from, said that 1 in 4 now employees suffer with mental health, anxiety, depression, and that's pretty important in terms of the whole household, but not only that, the whole community. Is there anything that we've missed in the last, can you believe, half an hour in this conversation?
Half an hour already, that flew in.
Yeah. So is there anything that we've missed that you want to cover? Is there any notes that you've got that you want to sort of go over again, or anything that you want to reaffirm?
No, I think the only thing I would say is thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you. And also, for anybody who is interested, please reach out to us. We're open for new... We've got a recruitment campaign for our new accelerator hubs across the UK. It closes on the 11th of August. So if you are a scale-up, a business seeking to scale up, you're looking to grow, internationalise or pivot, then please get in touch with us, either through our website or one of our local teams, and you will find all of their names available on our website.
Mandy Bailey from Royal Bank of Scotland, it's been fantastic today, and we've loved every minute. Shane and I both thank you for allowing us to come here and film in this special place.
You're very welcome. It's been our pleasure.
Until next time.